So I wanted to record a bit of a voiceover to talk about the painting process because I was very excited to get to the oil painting portion of this piece. The background that I did with acrylics, I was not expecting to turn out so good, but I really loved it. I went back in, I think Tuesday night, to add in a bit more texture, just to layer it up a bit more, but it was dark already, so I didn't really film any of that. But I didn't really change much from what I'd done on Monday. But I wanted to finish that and make sure that was finished before I went on to paint with oils, because you can't really paint with acrylics on top of oils, but you can use oils on top of acrylics. So I wanted to make sure that the base acrylic layer was all ready and dry and that I liked it before I moved on to actually starting the oil paint. And it was very exciting. It was also a bit scary because I liked the texture so much that I wasn't sure just how much I wanted to cover up, and therefore like just how far I would push it with the background. But I also had a lot of ideas for things that I wanted to try out. I don't finish the painting in this video, but it's going really well. I'm really happy with the direction that I'm working towards. And you'll see I do another big painting session later on in the video that I'll also talk about. I started working on the background, and that was the scariest part. I knew that I was going to do the portrait as like a full-on oil piece from the beginning, but the background is what I'm really experimenting with here, and it's the part that I've never really done before this way. Maybe a little bit in my last oil painting, the one with the like black background that I'm so happy with, and that kind of inspired the idea with the textures and everything that I'm playing around with in this case. But I've never done it to this extent, and I've never done this acrylic background thing. I've seen other artists do it, and I thought it was really fun. So I wanted to try it, and I'm definitely going to continue doing this. But I realized I did some tests on wood as well. I realized it doesn't work on wood because the wood tends to bend, and when you add water, and then the paint just pools at the edges, and it doesn't quite work out how I meant it to. And then also it creates this really weird raised texture that I don't know where that comes from, but it's weird. I don't like it. It's not fun to paint over, so I'm not gonna be doing this on wood. I think I might have to start painting on canvas a bit more if I want to keep doing this, which I'm not so happy with because I don't have that much space to store canvas. Like the wooden panels I use are quite easy to store, but we'll see. Also, canvas is more expensive, but I'll have to do it, and I'll be happy to do it if it means that I can get results that I love. So those are just some thoughts. This was only the very first session. Everything ends up looking quite rough at the end of a first painting session, but it's a good starting point, and I was very happy with the colors that I established. Color is a very important part within my paintings, and so I was happy with how this first painting session ended. Good afternoon, I hope that you're well. I wanted to come on here and have a bit of a chat. I know I always end up filming these at the end of the week because I'm an idiot and I forget. Like, I always want to film one on Monday or Tuesday as an intro to the week and then maybe have a follow-up one on like Thursday or Friday, but I forgot. So we're doing this on Friday. I think I'll record a voiceover for the rest of the video anyways because there's a lot of painting footage that I want to talk over and explain stuff about, so hopefully you just watch that. It's been a really good painting week. I started the big painting that you see in the background. Very happy with how it's going. I was a bit scared of starting the oil paint portion yesterday because I really like the background and I didn't want to mess it up, and I didn't know how to integrate the oil paint together with the background, and I ended up changing the color of the dress. If you saw last week's video, I did some color tests and I decided to go with a black dress, but then as I was painting it, it wasn't really going to fit the direction that the painting was going in, so I just went in with a lighter color and I think that worked a lot better. It was a good start, I think. It definitely needs a bunch of work, but I want to get this done quickly-ish. I'm not going to force it too much, obviously, but I would ideally like to finish it at the latest by the end of next week, which is kind of rushing it for such a big painting, but I really want to release a print collection by the end of the month. I wanted to have it out already by around now, mid-March. That didn't happen, clearly. But I'm hoping for the end of the month, and I really want this painting to be in it because it's just going to be more cost effective for the prints and stuff. But I'll show you more about that hopefully next week. I've started preparing the print files and everything, and as soon as this one is finished, I'm going to scan it, get it ready, and get everything printed. Hopefully I'm going to be able to get the stickers made as well, which I designed over a month ago at this point. I think everything just got delayed because I started uni and we've had a bit of an insane timetable, but I'm really enjoying classes, so at least that's that. And I've been staying quite on top of my notes as well, which is also very nice. I just had a bit of a catch up in my journal, made sure I was on track with what I wanted to do today, and I found some older paintings. I think I did these maybe in October or something like that. I didn't film any of the process. I never shared any of these on social media, but there's a couple that I really like. This one, I don't think I've ever shown anywhere. It might be my favorite painting I've ever done. I don't know why I never ended up showing it. It was a very personally intense painting process, and so I think that's why I just kind of kept it for myself for a while. But I really want to make prints of it because I think it's so beautiful, and I've tried to replicate the effect with the brush strokes and the flow of it. It never came back. I don't know what happened that evening. I painted that late at night. I was kind of in my own bubble, and it worked really well, but I have no idea how I did it, which is a bit of an issue. But we have something to show for it, and I'm gonna make prints of that anyways. And then I found another painting that I did maybe a couple of days later, which I also really like, but it's not finished. And I left it unfinished because I wasn't sure where I wanted it to go, and I think at the time I got out what I needed to get out, but I remember the song that this was inspired by, I guess. Often not necessarily inspired by, it's a difficult thing to explain, but oftentimes when I'm painting something, I'll have one song or one album on repeat as I'm painting that, and I kind of associate the two. It's the case for this painting as well, and I'm gonna put that back on and see where it takes me because I feel ready to keep working on this right now. So we'll see where this goes. But I want to scan this other piece to make prints of, so I'll do that as soon as I finish recording, and then I'll get to working more on that. I still don't know how I'm going to integrate that with the background properly because I don't want to leave the background as it is. I do really like the texture, but I want to use that as a starting point and work more on it with oil. But I don't really quite know how to do that. So we'll have to see where the painting takes me, but I'm very excited for that. It's what time is it? It's 4:30, so I still have a couple of hours of light, so hopefully I can get a good amount of painting done. So I'll leave you to enjoy the time lapse. I hope you're having a good week. This has been a really, really good week painting wise. I'm very happy. I've been mood tracking in my journal for like a month maybe, and every day so far this week the mood has been inspired, which great. Honestly, nothing better. I'm also going away this weekend. I'm at a friend's place Saturday and Sunday. We're leaving tomorrow morning. So I'm not going to bring my camera, but I will film stuff on my phone. We have a couple of really fun things planned. So hopefully you get to see that later in the video as well. But yeah, I hope you're having a nice week. I hope you're enjoying the video. Bye! I think from this point onwards is where the fun really starts to come in. The first layer is always interesting and fun because you get to see the painting start to come together. You get to create something where there was nothing before. But once you've established that, then it's a lot of fun to build on top of it and perfect it and play with it and change it and see how when you brighten a certain area, that really changes the feel of the painting and things like that. So this is my favorite part, even though it's difficult. I had a lot of trouble with the face in this stage and I went back and forth with it a lot. You'll see that in a second. The flowers are always really fun to work on. I think organic shapes are a lot more forgiving because it doesn't really matter if you change the place of a leaf or you change the color of the flower slightly, it's still gonna make sense. But when it comes to the face or a hand, your brain knows what that's supposed to look like, and if it looks odd, then it really picks up on it. And I had some trouble with this. I had some trouble especially with the shadow of the jaw. For some reason, I felt like it was looking very strong and very defined at this stage that you can still see right now, which is what I did in the first painting session, and I wanted to smooth that out a bit. Also, I went in with very muted colors for some reason, like very desaturated colors at the beginning, so I wanted to bring a bit more life into that. I like to have a lot of variation within the skin tone especially. I try to bring a lot of yellow and orange and reds. I didn't do a lot of purple in this case because I felt like it wasn't really fitting with the rest of the color scheme that I went for, but I also use that sometimes. But also, so I wanted to bring some of that in, but also the reference that I was using that I took a couple of weeks ago, I took facing the window, so I had a very even, diffused soft light. I didn't have a very directional light, a very strong light that created strong shadows, so everything was very smooth, and I find that that's a lot harder to paint than when you have really strong shadows, because it's harder to get the values to make sense, you can get the values right, but I find it's harder to create volume because you don't have a lot of difference in values. That's what I meant. So I struggle with that a bit, and I didn't really get there in the end in this painting session. I can give you a little spoiler. I did another one today, which is Monday of next week. I've started filming the next video, and it's going a lot better. I managed to fix some things, so that's good. If you follow me on Instagram, I give updates every once in a while, but it's going really well. I'm having so much fun with this painting. I really hope you like it as well. I think for a while I felt like I'm going through a very transformative period with my art, and I'm realizing a lot of things about what I want to be painting and what I'm interested in exploring, what I want to let go of. And I think I'm really starting to figure out the direction that I want to go on, and this is it. Like, I'm having so much fun with this, and I think that's the most important thing, and I'm so happy with the results that I'm getting. So I'm very happy to share it. I think it's important to celebrate these wins, because it's not always easy to find your style, or even if I feel like at this point I have my own distinctive style with the textures and brushstrokes that I like, I'm still unsure of exactly what it is that I paint. I don't think I have like a distinctive subject more than style. So it's been something that I've thought about a bit, and I've just been trying to have fun with things. That's always been the most important thing for me when it comes to painting, and I think it's important to keep that in mind. So I hope that you enjoyed the painting process.